The sound of canvas ripping is distinct, like the world itself is tearing. I stood in the doorway of my makeshift studio, really just our garage, watching my father destroy what he thought was 3 years of my life's work. Each tier was deliberate, methodical, his hands moving with the same precision he used at his accounting firm, except now he was auditing my dreams and finding them worthless. "Your art is as ugly as your face," he screamed, holding up a painting of a sunset over our town's abandoned factory. Except he was holding a copy I'd painted specifically for this moment, knowing this day would come. My name is Luna, and at 17, I'd been preparing for this night for 8 months. Ever since the Whitmore Gallery offered me my first solo exhibition, I knew my parents would try to destroy it. They always destroyed what made me happy. 3 years, Dad continued, grabbing another canvas. 3 years of wasting time on this garbage when you could have been studying something useful. This painting was supposed to be my self-portrait, a girl made of constellation patterns dissolving into cosmic dust. But the real one was safe at the gallery, already hung and labeled. This was copy number 7, painted in secret after they'd gone to bed, aged with coffee grounds and heat to look like the original. Mom entered the garage carrying her wine and a can of lighter fluid. Her eyes were bright with the particular cruelty she saved for special occasions. "Are we having a bonfire?" she asked with mock innocence. "We're teaching our daughter about reality," Dad said, now shredding my breakthrough piece. A massive canvas showing hands reaching through prison bars made of music notes. The gallery owner had called it profound commentary on artistic suppression. He was currently looking at the real version, not this recreation I'd worked on for 2 weeks just for tonight's performance. "Please," I said, making my voice break. "The exhibition is tomorrow. People are coming. There are already articles about it." "I'll call them myself," Dad said. "Tell them you've decided to focus on your studies instead of this childish fantasy." Mom poured lighter fluid over the pile of canvas strips he'd created. "Now it's actually worth something, as ash." She dropped her cigarette lighter. The copies burned orange and bright, painted with the same oils and primers as the originals, creating the exact smoke pattern I knew they would. I let tears roll down my face while internally, I was documenting every second. Behind them, barely visible in the shadows, was a small red light. The security camera I'd installed months ago, disguised as part of an old radio. It live-streamed directly to cloud storage, and more importantly, to my art teacher Ms. Yamamoto, who was recording everything from her home. "Talent skipped you like everything else," Dad said, watching the flames. "Just like intelligence, beauty, and basic human worth." I pulled out my phone, pretending to text frantically. They probably thought I was telling friends about the destruction. Actually, I was texting the group chat I'd created with the gallery owner, 3 journalists, Ms. Yamamoto, and a lawyer who specialized in artistic property rights. "They took the bait," I typed. "Destroying the copies now." The responses were immediate. Gallery owner: "Your real paintings are safe." Security footage rolling. Journalist 1: "Recording everything. This will be front page." Lawyer: "Document all destroyed pieces for the lawsuit." Ms. Yamamoto: "Police are on standby." "Who are you texting?" Mom demanded, trying to grab my phone. "Just telling my friends the exhibition is canceled." I lied, pulling back. Dad laughed, that harsh sound that used to make me flinch. "Good. Maybe now they'll stop encouraging your delusions." The fire was dying down, leaving ash and wire frames from the canvases. The garage smelled like burnt dreams, or it would have, if they were real dreams and not elaborate forgeries. "Clean this up," Dad ordered. "And tomorrow you'll apologize to everyone for wasting their time." They went back inside, Mom refilling her wine glass, Dad probably heading to his study to call the gallery. I waited exactly 5 minutes, then made my move. I pulled out my phone and called Ms. Yamamoto. "Did you get everything?" "Every second," she confirmed, "including them breaking into your locked garage space and destroying what they believed was your intellectual property." The gallery opened at 10 a.m., but people started arriving at 9:30. My parents had no idea. Dad had gone to golf, confident he'd ended my art career. Mom was at her book club, probably telling everyone about teaching me a lesson. I stood in the gallery, surrounded by my real paintings. All 43 of them, perfectly intact, professionally framed and lit. The centerpiece was a new edition I'd painted just last week, a phoenix rising from burnt canvas strips titled, "What They Never Knew." The first journalist arrived at 9:45. "Luna, can you tell us about the viral video?" "What video?" I asked innocently. She showed me her phone. The footage from last night, my parents destroying my art, had been posted anonymously at midnight. It already had 2 million views. The comments were brutal, all directed at my parents. By 10:30, the gallery was packed. Art collectors, journalists, social media influencers, and half my school had shown up. Ms. Yamamoto stood beside me, fielding questions I was too overwhelmed to answer. That's when my parents arrived. I watched through the gallery window as they parked, their faces shifting from confusion to rage as they saw the crowd, the paintings visible through the windows, and the massive banner reading Luna Morrison, Survive TO Create. Dad stormed in first. What the hell is this? The entire gallery went silent. Phones came out recording. My exhibition, I said calmly. The one you thought you destroyed last night. We burned your paintings. You burned copies, I interrupted. I've been bringing copies home for 8 months. Every original has been here, in climate-controlled storage, since the day I painted it. Mom pushed through the crowd, her face white. You tricked us? You committed felony destruction of property, I corrected. Or you would have if they'd been real. Instead, you just destroyed copies while being filmed and live-streamed. The gallery owner, Mr. Whitmore, stepped forward. Mr. and Mrs. Morrison, I'm afraid I need to ask you to leave. This is a private event, and you're not on the guest list. She's our daughter, Dad roared. She's my client, Mr. Whitmore corrected. And she's emancipating herself based on documented abuse, which includes last night's performance. The lawyer I'd been working with appeared beside me. Ms. Morrison has been granted emergency emancipation based on the documented destruction of what you believed was her intellectual property, along with 18 months of recorded verbal abuse and attempts to sabotage her career. Her career. Mom laughed hysterically. She's 17. I'm 17 with a sold-out exhibition, I corrected. Every painting sold in pre-sales, including the one you particularly hate, my self-portrait. It went for $12,000. Dad's face went from red to purple. That money goes into my trust account, managed by my financial advisor until I'm 18, the lawyer interrupted. Court ordered. You have no access. People were filming everything. I saw 3 news cameras pushing through the crowd. This was better than I'd planned. The video from last night, I said, loud enough for everyone to hear, shows you destroying what you thought was my life's work. You called my art ugly, worthless, said talent skipped me. But you know what really happened? You revealed yourselves. The world saw who you really are. People who would burn their daughters' dreams for control. You set us up, Mom whispered. You set yourselves up, I replied. I just made copies and let you be yourselves. Security arrived then. Mr. Whitmore had called them the moment my parents walked in. As they were escorted out, Dad turned back and shouted, You'll regret this. The only thing I regret, I called back, is not installing cameras sooner. The exhibition was a massive success. The viral video drove sales and commissions. 3 art schools offered me full scholarships on the spot. The journalist who'd arrived first wrote a piece titled, The Artist Who Painted Her Own Escape, which got syndicated nationally. But the best part was showing people the truth about the copies. In the back room of the gallery, I'd arranged the photographs I'd taken while making them. Each fake painting next to its original, showing the process of creating decoys. The hours spent recreating my own work, knowing it would burn. The careful aging process. The deliberate imperfections so I could tell them apart. You knew for 8 months they would do this? A collector asked, studying the documentation. I knew my whole life, I answered. I just needed to be ready to prove it. The aftermath was swift. The viral video led to a CPS investigation. The financial audit revealed Dad had been planning to claim my art sales on his taxes as household income. Mom's book club dropped her. Dad's accounting firm suggested he take a leave of absence. They tried to sue me for defamation, but the lawyer laughed that off. Truth is an absolute defense, he told the judge. And we have video evidence of the truth. I lived with Ms. Yamamoto for my last months of high school. Her apartment was small but filled with light and art supplies. She never once complained about the smell of paint or the sound of creativity. On graduation day, my parents didn't come. But the gallery was there, all 43 paintings displayed in the school for the ceremony. My classmates walked past my art to get their diplomas, seeing my journey laid out in oils and acrylics. The principal mentioned the exhibition in her speech. Sometimes, she said, the greatest art comes from the greatest pain. Luna Morrison transformed attempted destruction into triumphant creation. I'm at art school now, on that full scholarship. My second exhibition, titled Copies and Originals, opens next month. It features paintings of paintings being destroyed, each one layered with the actual ashes from that night. I'd saved them, knowing they'd become art eventually. The centerpiece is a massive canvas showing two figures burning paintings while a phoenix watches from the smoke, holding real paintings in its wings. It's called They Never Knew. The gallery already has offers for 6 figures. Dad wrote once, demanding I pay them back for 18 years of raising me. I sent him a photo of the ashes from that night, now incorporated into a painting that sold for $50,000. On the back I wrote, "You were right. The ashes were worth something." Mom tried to friend me on social media, probably to see my success and claim credit. I blocked her, but not before she saw my bio. Artist. Survivor. Creator of copies that saved originals. The garage where they burned my decoys has been converted back to regular storage by the new owners. But I know its history. It's where I learned that sometimes the best revenge isn't confrontation. It's letting people destroy themselves while you protect what really matters. Every canvas I paint now is an original, no copies needed. I document everything. The process, the inspiration, the sales. Not because I fear destruction anymore, but because creation deserves to be remembered. They said talent skipped me like everything else. But talent didn't skip me. It just knew to hide until it was safe. Like those paintings in the gallery vault, waiting for their moment to be seen. The red light from that hidden camera is now part of my artist's signature. A small red dot in the corner of every painting, reminding me that documentation is just another form of art. The art of survival. The art of truth. The art of letting people reveal themselves while you paint your escape. 3 years of paintings they thought they destroyed. 3 years of planning is what they actually burned. And from those ashes, I built a career, a reputation, and a life they can only watch from the distance I've put between us. Talent didn't skip me, but karma didn't skip them either. The copies are gone, burnt to ash and memory. But the originals, my paintings and myself, we survived, thrived, and sold for more than they ever thought I was worth. That's the thing about art. It finds a way to exist, even when people try to burn it down. Sometimes, especially then.